Today we're going to go over the 3 problems you're going to have when you try to grow near about every type of variety of berries. And I'll give you a solution for every one of those problems. The first problem you're going to run into is birds. Most people don't think that birds are a problem until they start noticing that their berries are gone. See, growing berries is one of the most rewarding things that I've ever done. And you'll find out that over time that all your hard work can go to waste. See, birds are pretty smart, and what will happen is you think you don't have a bird problem while your berries are red, and they don't want them until they know they're ripe too, just like you. So what will happen is your berries will turn ripe, and the next day you go out to pick your berries, and they're gone, or they've got little holes in them from where they had a nice little treat. And the sad thing is you can't pick your berries early because otherwise they won't ripen. So you have to wait all the way to the very end to make sure you get good tasting berries. So in order to fix your bird problem, you can do these 3 things. The first thing you can do is buy one of these owls with the movable heads, and that'll help keep your birds away for a little while, but you kind of need to move the owl from post to post in order to make it seem more realistic. The second thing you can do is lay rubber snakes down along your row, in between your rows of blackberries, because birds typically will stay away from snakes if they know they're in the area. And the third thing you can do is buy a birdhouse. And I know a lot of people think that's counterintuitive, but birdhouses attracts bluebirds, and bluebirds are very territorial. They keep all birds away, and they only eat insects. They don't really like berries or care for them. So what them bluebirds will do is they'll actually eat the insects off your plants, but leave your berries alone just for you. And the second problem you're going to have when trying to grow berries, especially strawberries, is you can have mold on them from where they get too much moisture. And you can actually see a perfect example of a strawberry that rotted away from mold. And that's because more than likely these strawberries were touching soil and they stayed damp and moist, and it wasn't no good for them, and as a result they more than likely had some rot and mold on them. And if they're not hanging over or touching the ground, they're probably doing best when they're on top of some other strawberry plant. So we can pick this one in about a day. Right here is a patch of strawberries that I grow in a raised garden bed. And you can see that there's so many sitting right here, and the leaves keep a lot of these berries covered. And strawberries preferably love to be hanging over, just like this one right here. So the moral of the story of growing strawberries is make sure they're not really damp and shaded a whole lot, because if you have a lot of strawberry plants sitting in one spot, more than likely it's a recipe for getting mold all over your berries. So try to find different ways to grow strawberries, specifically so they don't get mold or any fungus on the berries. And the third and final problem you're going to have when trying to grow berries, and that's strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries I'm talking about, is that they're pretty invasive. Once you decide you're going to plant raspberries or blackberries or strawberries and you think it's okay to put them in the ground, you need to think again. Because once you put them in the ground, more than likely they're going to start popping up in the general area of where you planted them originally. And to me, that's perfectly okay because I want plenty of berries. But to others, that's not okay. So in order to fix your problem with your invasive blackberries or raspberries or strawberries, I'd highly make sure you know exactly where you want them to be for the rest of their lives. So what's going to happen is over time, those roots are going to start spreading and your berry plants are going to start popping up everywhere. So if you're trying to keep your berry bushes contained, try growing them in a raised garden bed or in some sort of creative way to keep these things contained, like a grow tower or some sort of these large mineral tubs. This is where gardening and family values come together. We are Salty Acres, an edible plant business that teaches you many different ways to grow your own food and also offer an assortment of rare fruit-bearing plants. So if you're one of those people who think you can't grow anything because you don't have a green thumb or don't have a space to grow your own food, then we are here to help you. Once you click subscribe and then decide to take a leap of faith by purchasing our plants, you will always be part of our family. We are here to hold your hand along the way of your garden journey and are so thankful you found us.